Good morning, everybody. I'm really glad you are here with me. The presentation is titled for the DevOps because I'm the DevOps, but it will be for every individual contributor in the company. So, without further ado, are you here, but not in this room, but it's this mindset? In your job, the priority is always changing. You are working on a very important thing, and you come to your company on Monday, dreading since Sunday, and there is no new priority for you. Till the end of the year, you need to implement the new feature that's really business critical. You need to drop everything and just focus on that. And you do that. And by first day, there's the new priority that's even more important for you to pursue. And you are just with a lot of unfinished work and nothing to show off. You are giving yourself 100% capacity at work, 120. You are staying late, you are making sure everything is working, you are covering all the bases. And yet, then after all of that, on the performance review, you get the meets expectations. And yeah, we know you learned a lot, and right now, after 3 years, you should be compensated more, but our corporation has capped raises, and you cannot get the promotion because we have only 20% available workforce to be promoted each and every cycle, no matter how much work you've done and how much you perform. All the emergencies are treated the same, no matter if that's the production breaking, the development breaking, maybe some developers have the issue because they failed to inform you that they will need something from you and now it's urgent, and you are lost with the busy work, not knowing where to put your hands. And last but not least, you are really liking your job. You are liking what you're doing, but you are not liking this particular position in this particular company. If that's you, then I will tell you how to escape that, using only legal and ethical ways. So I'm right now the DevOps manager, but I was individual contributor for a long time. I also pivoted to the DevOps from software development. I'm still on hands, but I've seen the perspective both from the employee and manager perspectives. I've been in IT for 12 years, and I even managed to get 1 year of sabbatical. It's the time where I was not working, not looking for a job, just being happy, living my life, and it was the best time of my life. I'm also the Obsidian fanboy with the second brain. I really like getting knowledge, writing them down, building my frameworks, and making sure that nothing get past me in terms of past insights. And I also maverick voice. I am the unreasonable one in companies. I'm speaking my mind loudly. By that, I'm sometimes helping companies by taking consequences myself. I like to learn, but in a pragmatic way. The world is as it is, and you need to learn to play it, and play it well. So as I said, I work in IGT now. It's the gaming company. We are building cabinets for the casinos. We are a really big company. We actually were funded by the Polish person who emigrated to the United States. And we provide all the necessary things to manage hundreds of virtual cabinets and also physical cabinets in locations around the world. My team, which is fully remote and geographically distributed, is supporting the Intelligent Evo, which is cloud-based system for managing both the finances, the machines, the events, the IoT, and the machines. We might be hiring next year. Now, all of you who will hear here, you should filter by one, the most important lesson that you can get from this presentation. It's that the house always wins. No matter what, the system is doing what it was designed to keep the weak in the check, and to keep the power for the people who made it. But you can count the cards. It may be frowned upon, but it's both legal, and it gives you a little bit additional advantage that might help in your career. Now, the hamster wheel from the title. What is it? It's a lie that you have been sold. If you will learn, if you will good hard work, if you won't whine, if you'll be always available, someday the books will open and you will get promoted, you will get the recognition you deserve, everybody will see that you've done such a good work. In other words, the lie is that you have to play the game as what's said by other people. But the responsible for your life lies not in the system that we are living, but in your own responsibility for your life lies in your hands. Now, especially in the DevOps, I see there is the trap of productivity, which is the busier you are, the less visible you are. We are just frantically running around and nothing gets done. Because you are engaged in the things that do not have enough impact in your organization to get you recognized. So you get to the default work and you are doing invisible work that no one managed to notice. And by that, you are forcing yourself to a position that has no reputation, and with no reputation comes no power in any organization or your career. The people are thinking that you are wasting time because you are doing those important parts of the job. Of course, they are important, but you need to make sure that's visible. Now, examples of invisible work is the glue work. So all the things that you integrate and make sure that nothing breaks along the way. Something that's not the business requirements, but it's in the technical requirements. Second of all is support, which is taken for granted. If you are helping people, but with that, you don't get the next step in your career. You are not doing the strategic work. You are only helping others succeed. All the proactive maintenance, if it's slowing the development down, because you are making sure everything works as designed, as should be correct, as won't break. If people are not thinking that's important, then it's not important. And my favorite one, parallels paradox, especially in the DevOps. You get a lot more of the perspective about software development lifecycle. You get the admin rights to all your tools, GitHub, Jenkins, SonarQube, Cloud, but you are powerless to change things because the decision lies in other hands. So you have all the power under your fingertips, but like the genie, you cannot solve your own problems. Why is that? Because 90% of the value in organization is how your manager perceives you. If you are doing the good job for them, then you are seen as a very valuable team player, very valuable employee. That's the most important part, making your manager look good for their managers. Only 10% of the value of your company is how much you've actually done, the outcomes of your work. And 0% is how hard you work for that. Nobody cares how hard you work for that because that's not visible. For me, doing some task might take 2 weeks, but for you it will take a week. And for someone who just finished doing this task, it may be half a day. So focus on outcomes, but focus on the outcomes that can be visible for your people. If you want, then of course there's some cost associated with going with this hamster wheel. First of all, it's slowing your growth, because if you are not working for the important things, you cannot show the impact in the organization, you cannot do the work that pushing you forward out of the comfort zone, then you're slowing your growth, your career, you feel less purpose, because you don't see how the work that you're doing is giving you and the company value. You have less impact because you are not doing the strategic work, then, of course, you shouldn't get the vote how to change things. You get less money, but you have one thing that will get you more burnout. If you keep in the hamster wheel and just run and run and run. Now, how to break the cycle? First of all, you need to understand that you are not the main character. The company is not your family, you are not the owner, you are an employee. And you are an employee who is selling your knowledge, your time, and your thoughts for money. This way, you won't be mad that when the company comes and shows its true colors, it's only business. You should also put that in your thoughts, that this is only the business. You are giving your all, but you expect things, both the money and the recognition and the growth to get you to the next level. That's the most important part. But there are other parts that you should understand in any company. First of all, what does it mean to ship something? Does it mean that you fulfilled all the requirements? No. Does it mean that you got with the scope and the timeline and the budget? Also no. Does shipping mean that your customers are using that? Also no. Does it mean the customer are paying for this product? Also no. Shipping means that the sponsor of the project says it was shipped, and he recognizes your work, that you shipped something. It can missing half of the functionalities. It can be missing the paying clients. It may be not working. It may be scrapped the next 3 months. But if the person who was responsible for the whole project said you did the good work, that it's great, then it means that the project was shipped, because the whole chain of people make that their accomplishment, with you included. Second thing that's really important is to limit your work in progress, because work in progress is pure cost. 5 almost done projects is worse than having 1 fully shipped. So you need to get the one task and finish it. Get another task and get it to the finish line. Work on one thing and work it until the completion. And you will see that you will finish things more quickly and you'll get more visibility of the good work you are doing, because nothing stays in progress. It's always moving. You are always delivering. With that, it's always important to over-communicate. When I do job, I am not asked by the people how I'm doing. I'm giving them answers and keeping them in the loop. If I have any kind of problems, I tell exactly what is the problem. And in that cases, I said that the next update will be next hour. And I don't need to get and answer 15 questions of the same issue, because I already answered those questions. And I'm telling when will be the next update. So people who are dependent on me know exactly what is happening. And last but not least, giving 80% of your capacity should be your default. Why not 100%? In the systems, when you are scaling resources, you usually get the threshold to be 80%, because after 80%, the system starts to be unstable. Just like you, if you are always working at 100%, you don't have capacity. You don't have capacity to get the extra things, because you are already at max capacity. You don't have capacity to rest. So give the stable 80% and keep the turbo button to get to 100 and 120 for limited amount of times, where there's additional work that needs to be done, where there's emergency. Get it to learn, get it to rest after crunching time, get it to think about what can be improved. That's the most important part, to not grind yourself to nothing. But if you want to truly get the wheel, you need to understand 3 things. First is that those 3 things are 90% of your value in the organization. I don't know what it is for you. For me, it was to get my team from the research to execution, to show the good architecture, and to repay the technical debt. That's the 3 most important things that I filter through all my decisions. Next one is having high agency. The best way to describe high agency is that if you wake up in the Bolivian prison tomorrow and you don't know how to get there, who will you call? The first person, the only phone call. Who will you call to get you out of this prison? Who get everything sorted? The person who you will call is the high agency person, who gets the things done. Be that person, because everybody will then contact you to do the most important work. And of course, not everything is the priority. Not everything is urgent. But you cannot say no, because your manager will do something like that. And my manager also. So instead of saying no, put it in the backlog. If it's in the backlog, you can forget about it, and people will be happy. It's in the backlog. Someday you will address that day may never come. You may do the bankruptcy of the backlog, or there will be always priorities. But put it in the backlog and just forget about things. Don't argue that it cannot be done. Second thing is showing costs. If I will be doing that, then I'm delaying this project. If we focus on this feature, this quarter, then we are at the risk of not being compliant to the law or some legalese things. And my favorite, do the improv, especially if you are the manager. Yes, we can deliver scope A with timeline B, but I need resources C. So mythical man month. It goes like this. If the manager is tasked with getting to get 1 baby in a month, he will hire 9. 9 women. But of course, that's a mythical mad month, and it's bullshit. If I was tasked with delivering 1 baby in 1 month, I would say, OK, but it will take you 300 women. Why? Because statistically, in 300 women sample, there's 96% chance that one of those women is in 8-month pregnancy. So if you want to eat up the cost of hiring 300 women to deliver a baby, no problem. That's your money. In other words, force management to make the decisions. They are paid to make decisions. They rub it in your face that it's their job to make the decisions. So make them earn their keep. Also, keep the brag list. So all the things that you've done. Each day, write the most important the most important thing that you have accomplished. And in the next review cycle, you can have a very long list of the things that you've done that are important. Also, keep the bet lists. Bet list is more complex, but it's always what you are thinking and how sure you are about that. As an example, when I join one company and I see their data from their Jira, I said to the manager, I have 100% sureness that we won't deliver this quarter's things. Because in the last 2 years, the team always delivered 400 story points, and we just overcommitted to 500. Manager did not believe me. We made the bet, not on money, but for the principle. And after that, I was not questioned about my abilities to look through the data and say important insights. And keep the cash insight. What's cash insight? It's all the important thoughts that you get on the day. When you are starting the job, write down what this job should get you. What do you think is the most important one? And after some time, review it and write new things. Because believe me, if you are busy with your work, you are forgetting a lot of things, a lot of assumptions that you've made. So it's important to keep it. One of my most liked things is don't asking for permission. I don't ask, can I do it? What do you think? Can I get a comment? No. I give grace periods. So, and I wait for objections. If there are no objections, I do that. I get them the deadline. If there is some kind of review document, I'm saying I'm waiting 72 hours for any comments, and then I'm committing to building this thing. I'm putting pressure on them instead of waiting, because if I want to deliver stuff, go from the VIP to shipped, I cannot wait. I need to be on my schedule, because each day I'm waiting for the answer, it's the day I'm thinking about it. Last but not least, emails are turn-based combat. What does it mean? You can do all of the things, zero inbox, using shortcuts, getting LLMs for your emails, but the better you write emails, the more emails you will get back. The better you write emails, the more emails you will get in the first place, because people know that you will always answer. Don't do that. Don't spend your time in the inbox. That's not the value. That's the waste time. Time box. I'm usually checking email half an hour after I log in, half an hour after lunch, and half an hour I finish the job. That's enough. For the rest of the time, I don't have Outlook open. I don't see that. But of course, they can be a lot more throughput through the emails. So important one, I get to snooze. If that's important and I cannot answer, I get the notification, resend this email to me in the next week, so I won't forget it in my inbox. And my favorite, scheduling sending. So if I start writing emails half an hour before I finish the job, and I send it, I might get the reply before I finish the job. And if I won't send that back, it will still live in my head rent-free. I don't like that. So I schedule the email to be sent 1 hour, or the better one, at my earliest convenience to receive the reply. Tomorrow morning, yeah, that's the good way. I've written the email, it's waiting to be sent, but the people who are supposed to read that won't get that to the next day. And I just can keep with that my schedule of when I want to get the replies. And all of that is possible because I built my frameworks. From the books, from talking with people, for all the things. That's why my second brain is for, to build the frameworks that will help me get to the next level. All the thinkings, all the learnings. As I said, I'm an Obsidian fanboy. Now, complementary slide about AI. I'm also using AI, but I use it for writing. Because usually it's checking my checking my wording, checking my grammar, also making my passive-aggressive comments, not passive-aggressive, but more of corporate polite. So I'm using it for writing, but I never using it from reading and summarizing. That's the learning part that's really important to get to the next level, to understand all the context, to get your own thoughts. And believe me, if you are using LLMs to summarize, you will be missing important contexts. But if it's Jira, you can use it. Jira is not valuable, and there is always a mess there. Now, if you will do all those things, and you will deliver, you will ship, you will be a good team player who get things done, you get to break one rule that really, really is bad for you, that you hate. Because if you are a person who delivers, if the manager sees the value in you, he will fight for you, so you'll be able to break it. And my favorite example is that there was one person in the team that was constantly delivering, and he didn't want to return to office when the company mandated 5 days a week. And he still works remotely, because companies, especially people, are averse to loss. So they rather be seen as little less powerful and allow this exception for this one guy who delivers than lose his exceptional skills. So think about this one rule. But of course, be wary, because if you take responsibility for your whole life, you sometimes need to get also the consequences. And sometimes you just cannot win if you are the toxic organizations, if there's no vision to change, if there's no willing to change, if there's no plan, vision, anything, then sometimes it's better to just step out of the wheel instead of making the wheel more of yourself. Because, as I said, remember, the house always wins. Companies are designed to get the maximum amount of work from you for the minimum amount of compensation. And that's exactly why you should understand it, that you should count cards. Because it's not about being right or wrong. It's about giving you advantage that will allow you to move from the busy work to the important work, to the thing that will define your career, make your life better. So please, go be unreasonable in your companies. Say no to the work that it's not pulling you to the next level, and focus on the shipping, on limiting your VIP, and on working smartly, on the capacity that will allow you to overperform everyone without burning out. Thank you. You can get in touch with me using my social media. I, of course, will also be in the speaker designated zone to answer all your questions. And have a good rest of the day and the after party.